Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith. I know everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again, and you know why I'm excited. Go ahead and tell me why I'm excited. Yeah, I heard you. It's because I'm talking to another extraordinary person. And my guest today, her name is Maddy Schafer. And before she tells you anything about her, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her to start us off. So listen up. You don't want to miss any of this. So Maddy Schafer has all kinds of talent, but never really succeeded and struggled to find a passion or direction in life. Various attempts to build a business around her skills failed. Wow. Eventually, she realized two things. First, the usual business models were never going to fit. She needed to come up with something else, but had no idea what that looked like. Second, despite growing up in a comparative affluence, she had a massive poverty mentality, but she didn't know how to change it. Fast forward, and Maddie now understands why it's so hard for us to change, but that we can indeed change. She knows there's a formula for change, which will work for anyone who wants the future they dream about more than the past they remember. She applies this formula herself every day. As a result, she now knows her purpose in life. She knows what she is building, and she is daily overcoming her old, lackful self to become truly wealthy within. As a coach and mentor, she teaches ideas and principles she actually lived. She downloads surprising and practical information from the quantum. Wow. And she loves to celebrate when clients step into the new lives they create for themselves. That's the best part, she says. How are you doing, Maddie?
I'm just delighted to be here, Lude. It's so cool. I haven't been in this saddle for years, and I'm so excited because it's here, and this is so awesome and so aligned. So I'm enjoying myself.
Yes, thank you. I'm a firm believer that time is one of our greatest assets, and for you to choose to spend this moment in time in history here with me on this platform is amazing, and I'm so grateful. So, Maddie, let's just get right into it of who you are and why you do what you do. Let's talk about that and the influences that you have, what has rubbed off on you. And we started a little conversation prior to this, and I just want to continue. So I'm going to let you go. How did you become the person you are today and helping people the way you do?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's a long story. And I slaved over that introduction to try and make it because some people have this great, I had this thing and I met that person and I had that thing, and they can point to really big events in their life. And for me, it's like, yeah, no. For me, it's always been just these little breadcrumbs. But I suppose, I could say that back in late 2018, a friend gifted me one of Joe Dispenza's meditations and a bootleg copy of one
Love
of
him. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. I
I
apologize.
know,
But I love Joe Dispenza. Shout out to Joe Dispenza.
I know, my heart.
Yes.
So
Go
grateful,
ahead,
so grateful. So my friend gave me this meditation and a couple of recordings and things, and because she thought it'd be really good for me, and I was somebody who said I hate meditation, and I because to me meditation is you stare at a candle or you concentrate, what if, but what was really interesting was the very first time that I did a meditation of his, I actually had a change in my physiology. My body changed, and I knew it. And I had this thing that was a genetic expression that was a problem. It turned off, and that gets your attention. And so I sort of poked at it for the next few weeks, and then come the 9th of April, 2019, daylight savings changed. That gave me an extra hour, and I stayed at daylight savings time, and I started getting up earlier, and I said, I'm going to do a meditation every day. And I have not skipped one since then. Every day I have been in the field because I wanted to change, because I had some things that I wanted to heal in my body, and, massive lack, abundance, life, a business that, a life that excites me, all that stuff. So that's what I've been doing. Really, truly, that is how I've been changing. And before that, yes, I have all this psychic ability. I can tune into stuff. Really, I can tune into stuff. But the
That is
point
awesome.
is that, if people come to me for a reading, is, oh, that's great, blah, blah, blah. No, I've never done a reading for anybody. I don't do readings. I refuse to do readings. I want people to be able to read their own freaking energy and get their own answers. And I'm
Wow.
really passionate about that.
You
And
want
so,
to empower people. And that is
yes.
awesome.
And so what I discovered in doing this work of Joe's is that it empowered me to change, and it answered questions that nobody else had ever been able to answer for me, and it unlocked doors. And you know what? It took me time. It's taken me, I remember I was meditating, doing this thing every day for 11 months before I had my first real experience of joy. I didn't know what joy felt like. And people said, bring up joy, feel excited. It's like, oh, shut up about your freaking joy. Don't talk to me about joy.
Right.
I didn't know how to feel it. And I did not understand that emotions are a skill. People think, what do you mean? Bring up a feeling of joy or gratitude. I got nothing in my life to be joyful or grateful for. No,
Right.
what I know now, and I can actually bring up positive emotions. Back then I couldn't. It was like, you kidding me? Asked me to fly to the freaking moon. No. But now I understand, and I've actually learned, and it's taken me years to get good at generating positive emotions, but I can do it now.
It's amazing.
So, so that's sort of where I'm coming from, is I've always wanted to empower people. I don't want them to be dependent upon me. But I do have this really true ability to break things down, because I like the science, and yet I'm very intuitive. And when I'm working with people, the information, it's like they may not even know the question that they need to ask to find the answer they're after. Frequently, people don't.
Right.
But
Right.
there's
Yeah.
this energetic interaction, and the information comes, and sometimes it so amazes me. It's like, how did I connect with that? But it just does. And
Right.
it's about that person connecting with themselves. It's not about me being this person who gives them all the answers. No, I want them to find their answers.
You know
And, and,
what's
and the next time the lights go out and the crap comes down, that they are a little bit more empowered to do it for themselves. Now I'll shut up. You got a question.
no, I was just going to say, I was just going to just elaborate a bit on what you said. It's just so amazing that you are at a point now, no matter, and like you said, you have a story, and everybody has a story. And I know your story is deep, and there's a lot of this ups and downs, and a lot of unknowing, and adversity and everything to get to this point. And what I mean by this point is knowing how to tune in and listen to your, basically, the universe, or your inner voice, your inner guidance. And I never get tired of hearing that, of people that have gotten to that space, and now it's just a part of who they are. And the fact that not only are you in this space, but you want to help people be in this space as well, and be able to hear, get in tune themselves. And that's just amazing. Wow.
And you know the nutty thing about it, and this was such a huge, when I realized all of these modalities and everything that everybody is doing,
Right.
people want to feel good. Whatever we do because we want the feeling that goes with it.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're in the gutter and you're hungry and you want food because it makes you feel good. Or if you're a billionaire and you want whatever, you want it because of how it makes you feel. Right. So people go and have a reading, or they get a, whatever, or they get a healing because they want to feel a certain way. They want to feel better, or they want to feel wealthy, or whatever.
Right.
And what we think is that our feeling is dependent upon whatever it is that's happening outside us, which is the reason why we get to feel. We get programmed by advertising and media to think like this. Buy this thing and you'll feel this, we understand.
Right.
But what I've learned finally, and Joe Dispenza taught me this. Nobody else could, because nobody else explained it in a way that I could understand. is that
that's the key. That's important.
It
Not
is.
to cut you off, but
yeah,
that right there is a great statement, because oftentimes, I mean, that goes with when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But at the same time, oftentimes people will get confused or reject something because, and it might be the right information.
Sense.
Yeah, it might be the right information being shared, but it's how it's shared. It doesn't resonate with them, or they don't know how to understand it. But that's amazing.
I didn't know how to do it.
You happened to cross paths with somebody that was able to explain it in the way that was easily digested to you. And in turn, it changed your whole life. And that right there, those moments right there are so amazing and special. But go ahead, Maddie.
Yeah. So it was, yes, the philosophy, the information is like, wow. But actually, this is how, is what I was lacking. And this was the thing for decades. The latest teacher, the latest therapy that everybody was saying, this is amazing, you need to learn this. And I'd look at it and I'd feel like, no. It's like, you just keep on swiping on you. There was just never a no, never a yes. Everything was a no. And it became this pain that I didn't even understand or recognize until he was somebody that my whole heart said, yes, I can do this. I can actually do this. Right. So what I learned about how to do this, and the formula are Joe's words. I absolutely give credit. The formula. And I mean, it's science. To create the feeling that you want, you need to know how to give yourself a coherent brain. And that is a scientific thing you can look up. And you need to know how to create yourself a coherent heart. And that is a scientific thing you can look up. To be very simple. How to
create, what did you say? Can you repeat that again?
A coherent brain.
A coherent brain.
And a coherent heart. And I will do the very most shortest definition of those two things that I can possibly try to do. So a coherent brain, when we're running around feeling stressed, whatever, when we're worried, when we're angry, whatever, afraid, what's happening in the brain, the more stressed we are, the more like a lightning storm it is in there. Because every person or problem or situation or thing or memory or worried about what's coming next that you think about has got a neurological network. And when you're going from this, like a person who's channel surfing and endlessly hitting the button, your brain is very disorganized and it's incoherent.
Right.
And it feels horrible, by the way.
Yes, exactly.
It feels
been there.
Horrible. Yeah,
been there.
Me too.
Several times.
Really been there. Often. It was my normal state of being and I didn't know. So what it turns out is that the way you got a very fast thing going on in your brain. It's very unpleasant, very disorganized. What it turns down is the way to slow your brain down is somehow you got to stop thinking about all that. And what's been discovered rather, is that when you open your focus and you literally place your attention on the space around you, on nothing, and it takes work because your brain wants to keep on being the monkey mind and worry about this and stress about that and react, whatever. But if you get
thought after thought after thought after
emotion after emotion, we'll get to that. But if you open your focus and open your focus and open your focus, and it's a skill, and it took me a long time to get really good at it, you eventually get this coherent brain, and all those compartments that are going start to be like an orchestra that's playing together with one conductor, one drum, beating time, and everybody's playing the same rhythm, and it feels amazing when your brain gets coherent.
I am still working towards that.
You are going to love those meditations I talked to you about. Dude, it's a skill. You can learn it.
Yes,
Now, the coherent heart, you can actually do this, and by placing your attention in your heart, you got to be able to hold your attention there, and that's a skill when your brain wants to say there's a problem there outside that I got to worry about, react to, and you can simply breathe in and out of the heart. You just place your attention there and breathe in and out, and if you keep doing that, what happens is the heart starts to regulate. And I've seen the science because they've started in Joe's events. They now measure the heart and they measure the brain at the same time. And the heart coherence pattern is measurable. You can see it. It's a pattern. When we're stressed, our heart rate is very irregular. And when we're coherent, the heart rate is this beautiful thing. And when it's coherent, it actually informs the brain, hey, chill out, relax. You can go into creative mode now. There's no danger.
Wow.
So when you put those two together, you start having some order, and the heart, 90% or 95% of its neurons go this way. The heart tells the brain what to do, and then the brain sends a very orderly signal to the body. It sends a much more orderly signal out into your field, which is connected with the entire universe, and manifests your life.
Wow. I see right now.
You see why I'm passionate about
what
this.
comes to mind is harmony and balance. Yes. When you say that.
Yes, that is what happens. And this is a skill, and we can create it.
Right.
And so, Joe's done a fantastic job and is continuing to unravel how this works, and, spontaneous remissions from serious diseases and healing trauma and stuff that just doesn't happens. People materialize stuff out of nothing.
Right. You can heal themselves, everything.
We are able to do this, and it's
more
happening
powerful
now.
Than we've been led to believe,
way
like you said,
more powerful.
Been programmed to believe.
Yes, yeah. So we can do this stuff.
Yes.
And what he's doing is unpacking the how. And you think, okay, well, that's great. I'll go and study Joe Dispenza. Why the hell is Maddie useful to me at all? Well, what Maddie has always been good at is taking ideas and concepts and helping people to apply them in their real lives. Right. And the people that I work with are people who really want to make a change, and they know that it means they have to change. They're not looking for somebody to say, I'm going to give you a whole lot of money, and by the end of this, my life will be different. I want to fix, I want a pill, I want a tick box exercise, or even not even a tick box exercise, but I'm going to do this course, and by the end of it, everything will be right. I would not presume to say to a person, we'll do this and this and this and this and this, and then like magic, it'll all happen, because my own process hasn't been like that.
Right.
So I'd just be full of, that. What I do know is that the people who choose to work with me, they know that it's a journey.
Right.
And they want somebody who can help them. No, who can empower them. I don't want that word help, just,
yes,
they want a running mate. They want a running mate. They want a mentor. Right. They want somebody who's not full of pat answers, but who's really going to help them help themselves connect with, that's what it is that I've been struggling with all this time. And all the time, the commonest thing that people say has happened a lot. I just, I want to make a change in my life, and I just don't have enough willpower. Right. I'm just not, I don't. And by the time, if we sit down and we have the conversation, by the time we've been talking for however long it is, and it is a conversation, and there's energy work, and, not that I'm saying healing work, but just energy, because I feel, by the time that conversation is happening, they will realize at some point, or we will understand, no, it's not about your willpower. It's about this logistical problem that you haven't even realized. It's often extremely practical. Why people don't get things done.
That's the cause of what else has been going on, something that you didn't even realize.
There's a practical barrier. And so we look at the practical barrier, and then generally underneath that, or attached to it, you find that there is some internal resistance, usually fear, emotion, whatever.
Right.
So then we start really,
which a lot of us have, by the way, I have to say.
And we're unconscious of it, by the way. We don't know that it's there. We just think it's who we are.
Right.
We start connecting with these things. And then here's another key point of difference. I do not give a wet slap why or where or how it happened that you are now feeling this way, because when you analyze a problem in your life, quoting my Joe Dispenza, when you analyze a problem in your life in the same consciousness that created that problem, you are never going to find the answer to your problem. You have to change your consciousness, your awareness, your state of being, how you're thinking, how you're feeling, in order to connect with something else that's better.
Right. Because, I like that, how you said it. In my own words, you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created the problem. It's like,
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
amazing that you say that. That is amazing. Those are
And
really key golden nuggets that you're sharing with us here. Go ahead,
see,
Maddie.
one more I want to put on top of that,
Go ahead,
because
Maddie. Thank you.
I've heard him say it so often, and it's so freaking true for me. That, if you are, for example, sick, because we can all relate to, physical imbalance. If you have a sickness, if you have an illness, as long as you are thinking and feeling, oh, I feel sick, this is painful, it's not getting better. And by the way, this is all stuff that I face, right?
Right.
I have things that I have to overcome in my body. And one of the things I've had to do is stop checking in on it to see if it's better, to stop worrying about it every minute of the day, because that's what my brain would do. It's been a huge journey to overcome that. But as long as I am in that energy, not only am I still, I'm not going to find any solutions, because I'm still in the thing of, this is happening to me. It's a problem. I can't solve it. It's not getting better, blah, blah, blah. But, every time we have a thought, we make a chemical. And that chemical, it happens in the neurons, then goes to the pituitary gland, which is actually sort of in the center of your head. And the pituitary gland makes chemicals that go to the body and tell the body what DNA to express, and regulates your internal processes.
Wow.
And the chemistry of fear is really different from the chemistry of love. And if you spend your life in fear, you're actually you're just programming yourselves to express the chemistry and the biology of fear or sadness.
And
That's
it can't
why
be good for you.
It's not. That's why, the Indian, with the Ayurvedic medicine, and the Chinese, they would say, well, various meridians relate to various illnesses. And if you have a blockage here, because if those associated thoughts send associated chemicals, and those chemicals go to different parts of the body. And if there's an imbalance, then it's that particular part of the body that's going to keep getting pummeled with that negative chemistry. And voila, if you keep doing it, you are signaling your body for disease. So you literally have to stop thinking and feeling those thoughts. Those thoughts will create, it's profound.
That is absolutely amazing.
And it's such a lot of work, because, to take this a little bit further, that chemistry, actually, on the cells, there are receptors, and receptors are like little keyholes, little, like if there's a crater on the moon and something lands in it. It's a little thing that things come into, but it opens up, and it changes depending upon the chemistry, and actually depending on how we're thinking. And it changes depending on how we're thinking. And the more you think and feel, the more it changes depending on how we're thinking and feeling. And the more you think and feel the same thing, the more those receptors get used to the chemistry of your fear, or the chemistry of your rage, or the chemistry of your despair, your sorrow. And they get kind of stuck there. And you see, my receptors were stuck on being sad and frustrated and
that makes,
just like a frog in a bucket.
That makes a lot of sense. And when you think about even people that you encounter, or yourself, like some people, are stuck finding,
they're just stuck
reasons to be angry. So they look for, and they draw reasons to be angry and argumentative, or reasons to be, like you said, sad, reasons to be worried, and this is notice why a person that worries, they tend to worry all the time. A person that's sad, they tend to be sad really often. A person that's angry, and you notice that, oh, that person's angry, that's an angry person. But I want to stop us right there, because I don't want us to run out of time. And I want to say, like I told you, I
do want to explain one little point, and then we'll close, okay?
Okay. This is the thing. We got about 2 more minutes before. Yes.
This is the thing why it's so hard to change. Those receptors change, and more than that, they get blunted. So before you needed a certain thing to get angry, now you need a bigger certain thing to get angry. It's an addiction. Right. It's actually a chemical addiction at your cellular level. And that's why it is so hard to change. We have to change what our cells are asking for. I needed to put that in. That's what I've learned, and it's why it's amazing. So hard. But we can do it.
Yes. And that's just amazing. In this short period of time, you have just shared such powerful insight and wisdom. And I encourage people out there to look you up and work with you. If you want to find answers and within yourself and find the solutions to your own problems. But
I'm not going to give them to you.
Yes, but before we go, how can how can people find you? Your website.
Okay. So actually, it's easiest probably to find me on Facebook. Right. Because my website has this silly domain that I'm going to have to change. It's lovely, but it's hard to spell. So forget that. You can contact me on Facebook, Maddy Schafer. Just look me up. And there is my page is Maddy Schafer Manifestation Coaching. And I know you've put the links in the write-up on this, or you will, Lute.
Yes,
so
it will be incorporated.
Just use those links. And my website is there as well. But I'm very happy to hear from you on Facebook. Be glorious to catch up with you.
Amazing. Yes. So everyone, her links will be in the description of this video. Just go down to it once it's uploaded to my YouTube channel. And I just want to thank you again, Maddy Schafer, for being here and for sharing your amazing spirit and insight. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm certain that you had an amazing time. Enlightened, empowered, evolved. Love and appreciation to everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.